Hey, thanks again for pressing play and welcome once again to another edition of the Suns Jam Session Podcast on the BLEAV Podcast Network, brought to you by FanDuel, the original post-game podcast on Planet Orange, shooting the shit about the Suns since 2018, 19. Is there anything else I need to say? Any other? Nettlesair.com. Like, I'm just going to get everything out of the way right off the bat. Just hit them with all the things about us. But hey, what's going on? Thanks for hanging out. Welcome to another fun conversation about the Phoenix Suns. And that's what's great about right now is the fact that we're having fun conversations about the Phoenix Suns. Because as you can see, for those of you who are watching the graphic below me, Suns 111, Spurs 102. We've beat them now twice this season in 2 meetings. Always good to beat San Antonio. So let's talk about it after this music, brought to you by nobody.
Session podcast, shooting the shit about the Suns since 2019.
Hey, Matthew, what's going on, brother,
what's up,
man?
dude? Hey, how's it going? How are you? It seems like last night we saw each other. Has it been 2 days?
It's been 2 nights.
2 nights, yeah.
Yes. Last night I was we were celebrating Ashley's 25th birthday,
yeah,
a quarter
bar.
Century.
Yeah,
went to the train bar,
had
some decent cocktails. First time I've drank since the Dodgers won the World Series. Yeah, it's been a while.
That's good.
So, how are you doing? How was your Saturday night?
It was good. I actually kind of forget what I did last night. So, you know what? I met my girlfriend's sister's new boyfriend. So we went to some place in Mesa, and I think it's Empanados or something like that.
You literally said the same word twice.
Oh, did I?
I think it's either Empanados or Empanados.
The second one was supposed to have more of a slur to it, but I don't know. Yeah, it was a Mexican food joint, and it was delicious. I have to go back there again next weekend.
Well, that's what we did on Saturday night. Sunday night, we got to watch the Phoenix Suns play their final game of Week 6 of the regular season, and this puts together an undefeated week. They were 3-0 this week. They played the Portland Trailblazers. They played the Minnesota Timberwolves. They played the San Antonio Spurs. And a victory, 111-102, which brings me to my first question.
Matthew, I've got to ask.
Matthew, I got to ask. Jordan Goodwin gets the start tonight with Ryan Dunn out and Jalen Green out and Grayson Allen out.
Yeah.
If you're Jordan Ott, would you have gone with Gillespie based on everything that's kind of happened, or would you have gone with Jordan Goodwin? We know how it turned out, but initially, burped a little bit.
That's how I felt.
Initially, how did you feel? Did you think that seeing Jordan Goodwin getting his first start with the Phoenix Suns this season was the right lever to pull initially?
I think it was shocking. But if you look at it really, I mean, if you break it down, like looking at the lineups, at the 3-man lineup, I think that Gillespie's really in the top of the net rating with the Suns lineups when it comes to everybody off the bench, everybody starting. Oso Ighodaro, like he's in the top 6 right now in the net ratings when it comes to 3 players playing. Oso, Booker, in and out, doesn't matter. So I feel like you just don't really want to mess that up right now if you're Jordan Knott. Like he's really grooving off the bench. Why mess it up? And I was really shocked to see that it was Jordan Goodwin, but I don't know. I was kind of excited because I love Jordan Goodwin. And I'm kind of on the side of just keeping Gillespie come off the bench. He'll eventually be a starter. But right now, like, just don't mess it up if you don't have to.
That's kind of where I fell. I thought my initial instinct was like, well, if Ryan Dunn isn't playing, who was kind of a late scratch, wrist issue, he injured his wrist when he attempted that dunk on Rudy Gobert in the game on Friday. We saw him with kind of like the little bowling wrist sleeve, whatever you call that thing, guard, while he was sitting on the sideline. But my initial reaction was like, I wonder why not Colin Gillespie. But to your point, it's because of what Colin does is so valuable coming off the bench, combined with the fact that Jordan Goodwin has been just quality all around, and you're playing against a team in San Antonio that is depleted. They don't have Stephon Castle. They don't have Dylan Harper, so 2 guards are out. Obviously, Victor Wembanyama not playing in this game. And I thought, okay, you want some grit, you want some toughness, and you want to keep that point of attack defender archetype on the floor. Not to say that Colin Gillespie can't necessarily do it, but I'd rather have Jordan Goodwin pestering De'Aaron Fox than Colin Gillespie, at least initially. So as time went on, we kind of see how it played on. And I think that's a good place to start for our bright side.
Tell me the
Bright side.
The bright side right off the bat, in my opinion, was Jordan Goodwin.
Where's my dog?
Jordan Goodwin.
There's my dog.
33 minutes to play tonight for Jordan Goodwin. He was 7 of 15 from the field, only 1 of 5 from beyond the arc, but he had 15 points and 10 rebounds. His first double-double as a member of the Phoenix Suns. He also had 3 assists, had a steal as well. What did you see from Jordan Goodwin tonight that made him so successful playing against the Spurs?
Well, I think it even towards the end of the game when he's still in the lineup with Gillespie, even closing the game out, that I feel like is a huge success for Goodwin. I think when you were taking out Williams at the center position, you're playing a little bit small because you realize that Jordan Goodwin's so good at rebounding the ball, it doesn't even matter. Like, he's one of those guys I think we have one of these guys every year where he uses his physicality to his advantages. He doesn't have the size. He's 6'3". He's a little shorter than what I might be, but he might be 6'2". Who knows? But you just don't notice that because he has good positioning. He helps team rebound. He does all the good things that you want this type of guy to do, the hustle guy of the team. To come in and start, it's kind of a difficult thing for some players to kind of take on. But Goodwin is kind of just flexible in that way where he can come in at spots off the bench, give the Suns what he can bring, and then he could do it as a starter too. So I think really the rebounding was just huge from him tonight too.
Absolutely. I mean, the Suns had 43 total rebounds. He had 10 of them. He had like 25% of the rebounds, like you said, smallest guy other than Colin Gillespie on the court. And that's the dog in him, right? That's why all those years ago when he first came to the team, we gave him the moniker Jordan Dogwin because he plays like a dog. And he's absolutely fearless going into the paint against people like big-ass lumbering Luke Cornett and Harrison Barnes and Jeremy Sochan, all those guys who were crashing the boards. He's the one who's going in and getting there. And what's most impressive is of his 10 rebounds, 4 of them were of the offensive variety. And that was absolutely key, especially because, you know, this team kind of sputtered to start and we needed secondary possessions. And ultimately, you know, 19 second chance points for the Suns. The Spurs had 16. But those 19 second chance points were very key in turning this game because this team and this game needed to turn it around after a clunky first half. Yeah,
they really did. And I think there has to be some kind of stat where a team does hit the buzzer beater, does have a huge win where everyone's going crazy on the court. And then the following game just kind of leaves they come out flat. And it's kind of like you win the Super Bowl too. You come out a little flat the next year. Like, it's just those big victories take a lot of energy away from you. And I think coming in it too, when you have guys like Dylan Harper, Victor Wembanyama, even Castle's out this game. Those are guys that you want to face to kind of like test yourself, but they're out. And you got to kind of make up for it in other ways on the court to make up like just the energy that you have to match with these other guys coming off the bench and trying to prove themselves for the Spurs. So it's always going to be kind of one of those games down to the wire, even with the Suns without Ryan Dunn and of course Green out tonight. And again, Grayson Allen, it's like you got to find other guys and they keep doing that, dude. And Jordan Goodwin, I was talking about those net ratings too, the 3-man lineups. He's in there with Gillespie almost through all of them. He's in 4 of the top 6 with the net rating. Like him and Gillespie are just incredible together. Either if you throw Ryan Dunn in there, or else you have Oso Ighodaro, or you have Royce O'Neal, you have Devin Booker. Like, it doesn't matter. These guys are just kind of forming their own kind of duo and just making sure that they fit nicely with anybody they're playing with.
Yeah, and I think that I'll give some advice to all the Suns fans out there who are going to deal with anybody who engages you, whether it's on social media or in real life, and they go, well, yeah, they beat him, but there was no Victor Wembanyama. Or you beat Portland, but there was no Jeremy Grant and no Drew Holiday. I'll tell you this, like, one, you can tell those people to waz off. No, you can tell those people that the win column doesn't care how you got there.
No,
because at the end of the season, you look at total wins and total losses, and that is your playoff seeding. You don't get a half win because guys were injured and not playing. Have the Suns had some injury luck in the teams that they're playing? Yeah, but a lot of teams have had the same thing. Why? Because there's a lot of guys hurt. I feel like every day there's a new tweet and
Yep.
somebody else is out. It's like, oh, Giannis is out for a prolonged period of time. And, just kind of across the league, across the board, that's the game. And the other side of this, to your point, Matthew, is the fact that, we were without 3 of our rotational guys plus Rasheer Fleming. 3 rotational guys for us were out. But players like Jordan Goodwin, players like Colin Gillespie, these guys are stepping up and taking advantage of the minutes allotted to them. And it's exactly what you want to see from a team because, again, in the past, we've played the teams who've had those guys, right? We've played against Washington, and some guy out of nowhere will go for 15 and 10. And you might not say, you might look at that stat line and go, well, that's not a big stat line. Do 15 and 10 from a guy who's not normally a contributor, albeit Jordan Goodwin's been much more of a contributor than some other players have been in situations that I'm referencing. It still is an impact on the game that doesn't help you win games. So that's kind of where I stand there. What do you got on your bright side list for this game?
Yeah, just really quick too. It's really just every play they're not really giving up on. Just, we came back down by 8 with about 45 seconds left. It's the first team to do that in like 4 years.
Yeah.
And, they just thought the same thing. That the Spurs were only down by 9 with about a minute and a half left or 2 minutes. And they were just like, well, we got to make sure we turn it on and keep it on. And that's what they keep doing. And that's why I think they get these stats. It's because they're not taking time off. They're making sure that they're running in for the rebound. They're playing the rebound off the rim the right way. Like, they just make themselves available and they're going to get the stats. But actually for the good stuff, I think Isaiah Livers in the first quarter was really nice. I love the dude. It's really weird to hear the last name Livers and I'd be kind of creeped out. It reminds me of like Mr. Burns from The Simpsons a little bit, like his liver spots.
It reminds me of Silence of the Lambs. It's like the livers and the fava beans.
So yeah, both disgusting things. It doesn't
Exactly.
It doesn't really bring happiness to you, but he doesn't live up to his name, man. I think him coming in certain spots and really knowing where to be on the floor was huge. He was the only guy in the first quarter that kind of felt like he was getting hot. He played 8 minutes. And I think that the 2 for 2 was great. The 3-pointer made was good. But after that, like he does a good job at team rebounding and really helping out around different areas. But I just really thought coming into the season, he wasn't going to be a dude that you would rely on at all. But I love seeing him come in still. Like, he's been really consistent. Just me being happy to see him on the floor. Not really in the box score, but just him being on the floor. He has a certain kind of perk to him and his really good body language. So I love the dude. I think he's like top 2, top 3 in body language on the team, I feel like.
Well, I'll
Definitely.
tell you this. The fact that you say that you love him, I know means nothing to you. So it's just
Yeah.
an empty promise.
Yeah, I was drinking a lot that night. So
but what I will say is kudos to Brian Gregory and the brain trust, if you will, of the executive branch of the Phoenix Suns for acquiring Isaiah Livers and giving themselves options, because those minutes were initially allocated to Nigel Hayes-Davis this season. He was the one who was coming in and trying to be the wing player who could, kind of disrupt a little bit, hit a corner 3 when asked, but primarily just be somebody who assists with the disruption that the first team unit possesses. And Nigel Hayes-Davis has fallen flat on his face relative to that. But to your point, Isaiah Livers has absolutely stepped in when needed, and he just gives quality minutes. He's not doing anything to hurt the team, and I think that that's what that position needs. Nigel Hayes-Davis was doing things to actually hurt the team. Another thing that I have on my bright side list is the turnovers or lack thereof. Now, remember, this team had 28 turnovers in their last second victory against the Minnesota Timberwolves on Friday night. Now, granted, it only equated to 29 points, which is a good thing. But tonight against the Spurs, 6 total turnovers, Matthew. 6 turnovers. Points off turnovers for the Spurs, 6. That is absolutely fantastic to see. Now, it goes to show you a couple things. One, San Antonio didn't do a good job forcing the Suns to turn the ball over, because Minnesota, you have to give them credit, they forced a lot of those turnovers. But tonight, of the 6 turnovers, there was only 4 steals. The Suns weren't throwing the ball all over the arena, and I think that was absolutely important to the success of this team. And obviously, the primary reason, in my opinion, they pulled out a victory was the fact that they weren't loose with the ball.
Yeah, that was one thing we pointed out at the end of the game. I mean, it was such a joyous game to come off of and just have a podcast. You didn't really want to talk about the bad, but it was the turnovers, and they did slow it down a little bit there tonight to where they were taking care of the ball. You could even see towards the end of the game when it was about a minute and a half left, or maybe a minute, when Booker turned the ball over and the Spurs, it was like a 7-9 point game right there.
Yeah.
But you just saw them kind of rushing things. It's like, just relax, calm down. Because we see Booker in these situations where he will turn it over, handling the ball at times, trying to dribble through traffic, dribble along the sideline. Like, he does that. And we just have to know what our weaknesses are. Like, make sure the right guy has the ball. And if it's Book, don't make that kind of play where you're running towards the sideline trying to hope there's a foul, because most of the time at the end of the game, they're going to probably sometimes give the defensive player, I feel like, the benefit of the doubt just to make it more of an interesting game, right? It's all about the consumer and just making it an entertaining game.
Less of that. What else you got for bright side?
This dude.
Dylan, the villain.
Yeah, Dylan Brooks, 35 minutes played tonight. He was 10 of 24 from the field, shot more than anybody in the entire game from any team. It got him to 25 total points, but he was 4 of 12 from beyond the arc. He had 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 personal fouls, and only 1 technical, right?
Yeah.
Or no, maybe it was Royce O'Neal who got the tech, so it wasn't even him.
Didn't he get one in the first
he did
quarter,
get one. No, he got one when he was jumping up and down saying delay of game after San Antonio delayed the game.
I don't know how he's not teed up at least 5 times a game.
Seriously,
like, even if he's thrown out of game, he still should get 3 more. He's annoying as hell. That turnaround jump shot he has. Is this something he had beforehand? Because I feel like this is brand new, and it looks like he's getting stone cold stunned when he's releasing that thing. It's just such an awkward release, but he's getting it. And right now, like, between 10 and 15 or 19 feet from the field, he's 60% this year. And last year he was 39%. Booker actually is second on the list right now with the Suns at 51%. So when you're looking for the mid-range, it's actually going to Brooks. And I love the 3-pointers at times. Obviously he struggles from 3. But those mid-range shots, if you need a crucial shot when, it's a close game or just kind of spreading that lead out to maybe 15 points or whatever to kind of get away from team, he's really good at just kind of hitting those daggers, I feel like, in the lane. So he's doing a good job at that.
Yeah, he definitely has an affinity for like the Kobe Jordan turnaround fadeaway jumper. And it's funny because now I've watched him enough. You can see him setting up the opposition every time he does it. It's coming. It's like he gets an ISO. He's going to dribble at the guy, back down once, back down twice, spin, and he almost always spins to his right. And then it could be in the lane, it could be on the baseline, but it's always right within kind of what you mentioned, that 10 to 19 foot range. And it's flat. It's not pretty. It doesn't look like Kobe or Jordan, but it goes in. And that's where he's been highly effective. And I completely agree. Love seeing Dylan out there again with that energy. And you got to give a shout out to Villain Jr. again.
Your Villain Jr. is Colin Gillespie.
And
Gillespie.
Yeah, Colin tonight, not as effective as he was against the Minnesota Timberwolves. He was 6 of 13 from the field to get 15 points. So he was falling into the same line as like Dylan Brooks. Like, okay, high volume, not a lot of consistency there. But he did have the 6 assists, the 3 rebounds, the 1 steal. And I liked what Eddie said on the broadcast, how he said, he's got some John Stockton to him, especially on the defensive end. And you saw that again tonight. Not only is he white, not only is he wearing number 12, but he pesters and annoys on the defensive end. And he was starting to get under the skin of the Spurs as he does kind of every opponent. And that's how you put together streaks like the Suns are on, because the Suns have won 8 of their last 9. And it would be 9 straight if they hadn't blown that lead to the Hawks. I mean, they're playing absolutely spectacular basketball, and it's because they're getting contributions from everywhere. Like we mentioned, Jordan Goodwin had 15 points. Colin Gillespie had 15 points. Dylan Brooks led all scorers on the Suns with 25 points. Booker had 24. Williams had 14. It's just this consistent barrage of different players with different archetypes all coming together for that same mission, and that's exactly what makes it enjoyable basketball.
And when Devin Booker's struggling too, like he did in the first half or so, I think Gillespie's that guy to count on. I think Brooks obviously is another ball handler, someone that could score, as we just talked about. But Gillespie's a guy you can rely on to get us through those stretches. So that's exactly what he's doing this year so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone else you got on the bright side?
For the bright side, I think that's all I had, honestly. I think there's a lot last game, and this game's kind of just like a little bit of the aftermath of the year. I don't know.
Ooh.
The Suns Jam session. Burn book.
The Suns Jam session. Burn book.
All right, what do you got for the burn book, Matthew? What's the first thing you're throwing in there?
I think I kind of wanted to start with Devin Booker a little bit, but I'm not going to. Maybe you might talk about him.
I did have him on my list.
You did? Okay. So just really quick to get off, just a good start here with the burn book. Keldon Johnson, he's been a Spur for a while now, but he's just the ugly Spur player. I feel like we've always had the ugly Spur player, but he's the one guy, and he annoys me because he looks like De'Aaron Fox, but he's not De'Aaron Fox, and he's like the skinny fat guy. So absolutely annoys me. But I think just the first quarter, the Suns had the 29 attempts. They shot 32%, but it wasn't like they were giving up that many offensive rebounds. They weren't turning the ball over. They had 0 turnovers. So just the shooting, the poor shooting. I think, like I said, coming into this game, it's kind of a letdown, a come down. If you've ever done heroin, like the next day sucks. This is exactly what it was like, I feel like, for the Suns in the first quarter.
It took him a while. Oh my gosh. I don't know how to respond to that one. I will agree with the shooting in the burn book. The first half shooting for the Suns was absolutely poor, 36% from the field. They followed that up in the second half by shooting, 55%, something like that. The way that I equate it wasn't a come down from heroin. The way I look at it is like winter's here, right? Winter's here in the valley. And I don't know if you've ever had a car that like you need to literally warm up, but like my old Dodge truck, you would have to warm that sucker up. And if you didn't and you started driving down the street, the first time you hit a stop sign, the thing would just stall and die. And you just knew how to like throw that bitch into park real quick, crank it up, rev the engine, put in drive, and go when it was your turn. And that's how the Suns kind of were in this game, is they were sputtering at the start. The shooting was absolutely horrendous. And it was the interesting thing about the shooting, Matthew, was it looked like a team that was on the second night of a back-to-back, and they're on the first night of a back-to-back because everything was coming up short, like everything, every jump shot, every layup, every floater, every mid-range shot. Everything was hitting that front of the rim. And I mean, it took until like 8 minutes in the second quarter for the team to even hit 30 points. And I was just like, whoa, this should be happening tomorrow night, if anything. Like, why is it happening tonight? But at the same time, as you mentioned, it goes in the burn book that they had poor first half shooting. But one positive that you took out of it was, as you mentioned, the fact that the team only had 2 turnovers. The team wasn't getting destroyed by the San Antonio Spurs. They went down by as many as 10 in that first half, but they were they were resilient. And I think that's an important aspect of a team, and it's an understanding of the ebbs and flows. And it's also a reminder, like I hate, like I really wasn't on Twitter a lot during this game because it just gets annoying because everyone thinks it's like the end of the world. I'm like, dude, it's like there's 5 minutes left in the second quarter. This team has shown you that they can go down, but with their mission, they're going to come back. They're like the Terminator, man. They're like zombies. They're just going to keep. It's like zombie wars on Call of Duty. They're going to keep coming back.
Yeah, and I don't think that it's anything that worries me really in these type of games because I'm doing laundry a little bit during the game, just a tiny bit, folding some clothes and stuff because I just feel like they had this game the whole time. It's not. I watched most of it, but I think maybe about 10 minutes total of just laundry and a little bit of dishes here and there and stuff like that because I feel confident in this team right now. I don't think they're going to slip at the end of the game when they have the 10-point lead, 11-point lead. I think they're going to hold on to it because they continue to just prove to us all the time that they can. So like you said, if they're down early from the shooting and that's it, it's nothing to worry about.
Well, exactly. If they're not really hurting themselves outside of the shooting, if it's not the other team imposing their will, like there's games where that has happened and will happen in the future where we're just playing a more talented team and they're going to put the Suns down and it's because they're just a better team. But in this one, you kind of felt like, okay, this is a depleted version of San Antonio. The only reason we're not in this game is simply because we're missing our shots. But a guy who was missing a lot of those shots.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is
Big Dick Booker.
So overall in the night, Devin Booker was 7 of 18 from the field, ended with 24 points. He had 7 assists. He had 5 rebounds, a couple block shots, actually, 2 of 6 from beyond the arc. But that first half, he was all mixed up, right? 3-11. He was 3 of 11 from the field. Didn't look good. And one thing that was interesting about this game, if you take into the fact that he was 2 of 6 in this game, in his last 5 games, he's 7 of 30 from beyond the arc. That's 23.3%. Wow. That's not good. And Booker had a great start to the season shooting beyond the arc, and it's really started to tail off, and it is something of concern moving forward for Devin Booker because we need him, obviously, as a team. it's great to get performances from Jordan Goodwin and Colin Gillespie, and Mark Williams was really good on the way that he eventually started to understand how to guard Luke Cornett and the way, again, as he runs on the offensive end. But you still need to have your cornerstone produce like a cornerstone should. And Devin Booker was really having a hard time, especially in that first half, Matthew.
Yeah, if he could just get like that 1-3 a game extra, it'd be great. It'll help him in every way. I feel like even like for All-Star voting, I mean, if anybody cares about that anymore, it's just going to kind of hurt him because he always goes through these dips where now he's below that 27.2 points per game mark heading into this game. Now he's going to be even worse than that. So that's always one thing to watch, I feel like, because when he goes through these slumps, it hurts his stats. I feel like he should be a 30-point game guy, but he can't because he can't make threes. And it drives me nuts. Like there was one play where I think it was blown dead because there was a foul underneath the basket, but he shot a three, missed that one, and it wanted to count it, but then he got a back shot again and missed it again. Yeah. I was like, oh my God. Like, because that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, oh, here he goes with the 3-point shooting. Like he's 32% like always. And it drives me nuts. I wish he can explain to us why he thinks he's not good at threes. Like, is it just something? Obviously, it's the mechanics, whatever it is, but I just don't understand it. I don't understand shooting, I guess, enough to really understand that.
Well, and I see a lot of people in the chat, and again, if you're joining us, thank you for doing so. Give us a thumbs up. But his book hurt. Keith Nettles, is there a chick that we can blame for his shooting? But another person is Book nursing an injury. I'll ask this question because I don't think he's nursing an injury. I honestly don't.
I don't either.
I think the challenge with Devin Booker is, one, he's never been a great three-point shooter. I think he's a career 35% three-point shooter. But the other thing, and I worry about this a lot for the Suns, is the way that they play. It's such a tenacious style that I think it can equate to tired shooting. Maybe that's what happened in the first half here. Maybe it's something that we need to kind of continue to monitor because this team does play 100 miles per hour all the time, especially on the defensive end. They put in the effort. Eventually, that's got to wear down on you a little bit. And again, you take into account the fact that there is no Jalen Green to take that pressure off Devin Booker. There is no Grayson Allen, right? There was no Ryan Dunn, who's not a great offensive threat. But you're missing a couple of really good offensive threats that can assist from a gravity perspective in opening up Devin Booker and allowing him to have easier shots, because everything he has to do, I feel like, is very taxing. And that worries me because after time, that starts to wear on a player, does it not?
Yeah, it does. And it's always something we go through with Booker. The only thing, like, it's upsetting as a fan, kind of just to see, like, the Pistons are awesome. They won like 12 in a row right now. Yeah. They're cruising. They haven't played well, in the East, it kind of is a little bit easier out there, but
they are playing the East.
Yeah, they haven't played like the Rockets. Those the real teams that we're going to come up against pretty soon, obviously tomorrow. But it would be nice to see like some kind of MVP momentum. I know he's not going to win it, but like on Twitter, they always have like Booker's stats for the last 10 games and like MVP question mark or something like that. They do that with Cade right now. Obviously, he just got a new shoe deal with Nike, and he's like the new guy. But I just feel like the Suns play the Pistons. They probably can beat them, but we don't have that guy right now. It's like, who's the MVP of this team? Like, obviously, Booker's our best player.
It is Booker.
But it's like, it'd be nice, like, just like, something where if we beat the Rockets tomorrow without Kevin Durant, like, it's like, do you think anybody talks about Booker as an MVP top 5 candidate? Just some guy to put on the radar? Never?
No, but I think that's less about Devin Booker and more about how good other players are. Because like SGA is unbelievable. Nikola Jokic is unbelievable. I mean, there's some other players out here, Luka, who just do so much. So it's not necessarily to mute the efforts of Devin Booker, albeit he is, over the past 3 or 4 games, looking a little bit more tired, not as efficient as he was to start the season. I still think that he is our Batman. He is the star. When the All-Star voting comes, and the Suns, if they maintain this pace, he is the all-star. There's no doubt of that in my mind. It's just that he's not necessarily in the same stratosphere as some other players because they're that much better.
That's depressing. I was thinking if Jalen Green's putting up these stats, though, and he's doing as well as Book, I don't know. Does he get the nod from social media as that guy, maybe? I don't know.
I think he does because he would be exceeding expectations. He doesn't get an MVP. He's not that conversation because, again, these numbers don't put you in the MVP conversation, but it's all about expectations too, right? Like you have SGA and you have Nikola Jokic, who are unbelievable, but they're also continuing to play unbelievable. Like you look at Jokic's stats and they're video game-esque. The guy just doesn't miss. So you have all these expectations of him being a multi-time MVP and he's doing better than in the past. Yeah, he's going to be in that top conversation. Devin Booker's he could average 30 a night. And for the front end of the season, he has. But there's not going to be a lot of respect in Phoenix, because I think another part of that is people have to admit the fact that they were wrong about Phoenix, and people aren't ready to do that yet. And who's to say that they were yet? We still have a long way to go in the season. We're 17 games in. So if you're sitting there and saying, "Oh, well, Devin Booker's an MVP candidate," you're also going to have people on social media go after, and you're like, "Well, hold on. Didn't you have the Suns? Everything negative about the Suns you ever said, they will throw in your face. Well, didn't you have them only winning 30 games? Didn't you have them the 14th team in the West?" So I feel like there's just not a lot of people who are going to willingly admit what they're seeing. Booker is playing quality basketball on a quality basketball team, but he's playing as a member of a team, right? It's almost like Buster Posey when he played on those San Francisco Giants teams that won 3 World Series. He was a great player, but he was a great player on a great defensive team, and that's why they won with pitching. He just happened to be the most gifted offensive talent. He wasn't the greatest offensive talent in the entire league, but he was quality enough to come up clutch when the teams needed them.
Yeah, and I think Booker's never really gotten that acknowledgement. I've always said, too, like, I don't think he's the best player on a good team, but he's never gotten to the point where it's like he's kind of excelled those expectations from the media, where he is, like, he finished 4th in the MVP voting in 2022 when they won the 65 games.
64, yeah.
64 games. But other than that, it's like, it seems like he doesn't ever get, obviously, that acknowledgement. And then us as Suns fans just have to realize, like, he's not that guy, but then I actually do like it because I like this team more of a team. Like when you're watching tonight, like you might love this, but when you're watching the game, you're looking at other players. You're not looking for Booker anymore to kind of step up and hit big shots. Like you can care less about that anymore. So it's almost a good thing because other teams like this, like the Pistons, might rely on Cade Cunningham too much, and if it's
Bingo.
like, well, if he goes down,
Bingo.
What are you guys going to do? Well, if Booker goes down, he probably will a couple weeks. Who knows? We have other guys that can play, not necessarily his role, but they can fill his shoes the best they could, and I think it still equals to wins.
And so I got 2 things on that, and I agree. One, Devin Booker will never get the respect because Devin Booker doesn't have a sexy enough game to garner respect. He is a mid-range assassin, which people find boring. If he was amazing from beyond the arc, he'd get a lot more. One, his point total would be higher, but he'd get a lot more respect because people, it's like the long ball, right? People love the long ball. People love the dingers. People love the 3 ball. And then you have Devin Booker just kind of carving people up in the mid range and like, okay, it's not sexy. He's not. And when he dunks it, it's like YMCA old man rec dunks. It's not like he's doing windmills and 360. Yeah. You're like, dude, are you going to get up?
Like the one, he missed one really bad earlier. And then he had one later on, but I'm like, oh, like, the way he landed and stuff, it was fine, but I'm just worried about him landing and just coming down awkwardly. So,
but the second thing to fortify your point is what I enjoy about this team, and I hope that people start to enjoy as well, or at least understand, is we don't need to live and die with Booker. We don't need Booker to be an MVP level candidate for this team to be successful. That's the key, because that's what a lot of people were saying preseason. It's like, listen, if the Suns are going to compete, Devin Booker needs to go for like James Harden in 2016. He needs to have like 36, 37 points a night. And we have to completely evolve and revolve around who he is and what he does. And if he has a bad night, guess what? The team loses. Guess what? Last game against the Minnesota Timberwolves, he fouled out. Tonight, again, 24 points, not the greatest Devin Booker night. He ended up getting his points because he got to the free throw line a little bit at the back end of the game. How many? 8 of 11 from the free throw. Okay. So, I mean, that's how he got 8 of his 6. He got 8 points
24.
from the free throw line, 16 from non-free throw points to equal 24 points. So he had what you would call, quote unquote, bad Booker games. And you know what? We're 2-0 in those games. And that's what's important, because we will have those Booker nights. We will have those 40-point explosions, potentially a 50-point explosion. And he'll be the reason we win a night. And we'll be sitting here singing his praises. But on nights like tonight, where you go, dang, what's wrong with Booker? Nothing. He's just playing his role like everyone else on this team is playing his role. He is being asked to shoulder more of a load because of the level of talent he possesses. He wasn't able to get it done on Friday. He wasn't able necessarily to get it done tonight, but the team won both times. And ultimately, that's what's important.
And that's important, I think, around the NBA now. Like, we used to rely on Book a lot and be like, oh, he needs to score 40, like you said, and we wouldn't win those games. But now in the NBA, like, if you look at like the Spurs, or even the Spurs before Wemby was hurt, like Wemby was putting up big, gaudy stats the first 3 games, but they kind of went down a little bit. It was kind of like evenly spread throughout the team. And it's just same thing with the Pistons, same thing with the Rockets too. Like they're the highest scoring team. Obviously, you have Sengun and Kevin Durant might have an off night, but they have other guys that can fill in for him and hit big shots and score 20, 25 points. So it's always like more evenly spread now in the NBA. And I think right now you're kind of hitting a kind of a soft spot in the NBA where there's a lot of sucky teams now. So it's like either you're going one way or the other. You know what I mean? A lot of teams might be tanking right now. So I like to see the Suns now they're on the other side. It's like, oh, we know what we're doing because we can be a top 6 or 5 seed right now. And I hope play the Rockets in the first round, which would be insanely fun. The best pods, best podcasts.
Twitter would just burn down. And I will say a lot of those teams that are sucky, they rely on one guy primarily, and they're kind of living and dying through that one guy.
Ball.
Yeah.
James Harden.
Larry Markkinen,
Yeah.
Facts. What else you got in the burn book?
I think that's all I had. That's all I had for burn.
I got 2 things. One, I just want to bitch a little bit about the officials. I mean, not much, but I was just, again, you just saw some emotion in this game. And I know it's across the NBA, but it just felt like, especially in that first half, the Suns were choppy. But part of that was because the officials weren't allowing them to play physical. And I get it. Like, the Suns are a physical team. They're going to get called for fouls. But when you got Jeremy Sochan, so, like, you don't like Keldon Johnson. He's like the annoying Spur to you.
Mhm.
Like, that's who Jeremy Sochan is to me. Like, he doesn't have the dyed hair anymore, but he's just annoying as fuck. And he's bodying up Devin Booker on every play. And there was the challenge that Jordan Knott used in the second quarter where Devin Booker goes up. He gets slapped on the wrist and hit on the head, yet they review it and they go, yep, it was out of bounds on Booker. It's like, no. Right before that, when he got hit in the head, that's not a foul. And I just felt like there was some shoddy officiating in this. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about just briefly was the fact that when did De'Aaron Fox become such a foul merchant? I used to enjoy watching De'Aaron Fox play. And maybe it's a thing that happens when you move to Texas. Because like Luka was a foul merchant. James Harden was a foul merchant. And now you have De'Aaron Fox going 14 of 16 from the free throw line. He was 5 of 11 from the field. He had 26 points. 14 of those came from the free throw line. I mean, you couldn't touch the guy. It was really just kind of annoying.
Are you a fan of his anymore?
No, not really. He's a Spur now.
I'm not.
I don't like the Spurs.
But no, I don't want him on this team. I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't want him on
the Spurs
the Suns
to succeed. No, I don't want him on the Spurs team. I don't like
gotcha.
him. I don't think he's that good anymore. Like, he's good, but if he's on a sucky team and if he's maybe the best player and has to handle the ball, maybe. But I'm not a fan of his.
He
I
makes
don't want him on
sense
this
for
team
the
still.
Spurs, right? If you look at their timeline with Dylan Harper and with Stephon Castle, you have him for another couple years as both those guys continue to develop alongside Wemby. And when it's time for him to kind of move on, he's made his money, he moves on, and then they've got a really good, mature guard backcourt along with Wemby.
Yeah.
So it's one of the things that annoys me. But ever since the Beam team, like, he was really good. He was one of the most clutch players in the NBA. Like,
Yeah, he was.
the final 5 minutes, man, he could just shut you down. But he had an injury, and after that, I just feel like he leans more into people and tries to earn points at the free throw line versus being the elite talent that I felt like he once was.
And I thought you couldn't do that anymore where you can stop and then hit someone with your butt. Like, I know it's not like right behind.
You're not supposed to be.
He's doing it from the side where he's getting like Dylan Brooks kind of tangled up on the side when he stops. But I don't know. I don't like his game. I don't like watching him. He's my least favorite player in the NBA. I don't know why. He just is.
Wow.
I mean, I do know why, but I'm like, I don't know how it hit me so quickly. I think as soon as he signed with the Spurs, I'm like, I just don't want him on this team, dude. They're young. I know what you said. He can help them along, I guess, but they were doing just fine without him.
That's a tough question. Who's the guy in the NBA I can't stand the most?
LeBron's fakeness when he comes back.
I just have to really think about that. Yeah. Real quick, I want to drop a stat.
Ooh, dang, stat me.
The stat is Tuesday, January 27th, Brightside Night. Dave King's Brightside Night is going on. So if you have an opportunity, you want to give more of yourself and you want to send an underprivileged kid to go see the Phoenix Suns live and in person at the Mortgage Matchup Center, please go to suns.com/brightside and donate. The more you donate, the more opportunity there is for you to get some cool prizes. Not prizes, but like, you get
you can steal stuff.
You can get a shirt that I designed that says Dave King's Brightside Night on it. You can, if you're somebody who donates to one of the higher tiers, you'll be part of a pre-game Q&A session with the Suns executive. I got to start thinking about questions and understand who it's going to be. But yeah, if you get an opportunity, suns.com/brightside.
The Suns Jam Session Subreddit Stakeout.
The Suns Jam Sessions Subreddit Stakeout brought to you by nettlesair.com.
You need a unit. We've
we've got you covered. Nettlesairs.com is where to go, brother. Call 623-444-48.
We're off.
Nettlesair makes your home feel great.
Woo! I need to actually make a commercial for that. So Matthew was in San Antonio tonight on their subreddit to see what they have to say. And Matthew, I'm really excited to hear what the Spurs fans had to say about this game tonight. What'd they have to say?
They talked about the commentators the whole time, but before that, they said De'Aaron SGA Fox. Like you were saying,
yeah,
they noticed it. Yeah, he's just like him. Exactly. He's finding ways to win, I guess, but they lost. All right, Vassell might have the slowest feet for a guy his size in the league. Anti first step ability for your wing is crazy. Are you fans of Vassell or no?
Vassell
to me.
Now, obviously, I don't watch a ton of Devin Vassell, but obviously, you and I were kind of high on him in that draft, but that was years ago now, 5 or 6 years ago. I think with Devin Vassell, he's a player who's very streaky, and I think in the confines of what the Spurs are trying to develop, he's an ideal coming off the bench, Grayson Allen type. Like he can shoot the 3 ball, but he's not fleet of foot as the subreddit in San Antonio mentioned. He's not somebody who can take anybody off the dribble. If they can find a way to make him somebody who's just like a spot up corner 3-point shooter, that's where he'll cook.
I don't know. I kind of don't like him, but hopefully the Spurs move on from him. I want to make the Spurs a championship contender, I guess. I don't know what I'm trying to do here.
Yeah, what are you trying to do here? We're not trying to fix the Spurs.
Who the fuck is Mitch? Like, someone said, why Pop loves Mitch? What the fuck? And then people kept commenting about Mitch. Is that their coach?
Yeah, that's their coach.
It wasn't on my page, my web page, so I'm like, I'm too lazy to look. So
well,
is that their coach?
But you're invisible, so maybe you didn't see it. But Mitch Johnson is their head coach. He's in the second year. He's the one who kind of took over for Greg Popovich last year.
Yeah.
And now he's their head coach. I'm still trying to remember who he looks like. Like when I see him, I know who it is. It came to me. Do you know who Terrence Howard is?
Yep, the actor. The one that's a science guy now. He goes on and on about theories or something. Like he was on Joe Rogan talking about like I don't even know.
He looks like Terrence Howard from Hustle and Flow and the first Iron Man.
Yep.
That's
he looks just like him. He has the same eyes and lips.
Yep.
Yeah. Suns commentators and shambles. I don't know what they're talking about. There's a lot. I love our commentators, but no one else does.
Everybody hates them.
Someone said, "Holy, the commentators complain more than Booker." And then someone else also said, "Suns commentary cries just as much as Booker." And I didn't notice him crying too much tonight.
One, I didn't notice him crying, and two, I think that's a product of observing other announcing teams, because I'm sure if we listened to the Spurs announcers, we would say the same thing. Like if you saw the feed after the Minnesota Timberwolves lost to the Suns, and a lot of people were reposting what their announcers were saying, they were crying the whole time because after a made shot, Dylan Brooks hit the ball over to the ref, which teams do all the time. It's like, you can't do that. You can't do that. So it's like it must be like when you are observing another team's announcing team, you automatically think they're just crybabies. Because I don't think that like Eddie Johnson kind of calls it like it is. That's what I
he
love
does
about
sometimes
him.
favor the Suns, but
Of course he
think
does.
I don't notice that really. The other commentators I always feel like are just really boring, and they do. There's just like going to church with a lot of these commentators will put you to sleep, and I can't stand it. The NBA's got to step it up with these commentators because this is the worst thing. Like we got NBA League Pass finally because it's only like $20 a month just to check it out. And I'm watching other games, and these guys are snooze fest, man.
Oh, I believe
I don't
it.
understand what's going on.
I will say that people in the chat noticed. They said they saw Lissy's kitty in the reflection of the TV, and they want the kitty to talk. We can see the cat back there.
Well, the kitty's looking for food right now. I'm supposed to feed her. There.
Carry on.
That's all I had.
Oh, that's it. That's it for the subreddit stakeout.
The Suns Jam Session subreddit stakeout.
All right, it's hardware time.
Jam star of the game.
All right, this could be an interesting one because we have, again, a team effort to win this one. And you can even give it to Jordan Ott if you want. But let us know in the chat who your jam star of the game is. If you're listening to the podcast, yell it out loud. I want you to literally just yell it out loud. If it's Colin Gillespie, I want you to be standing in a Starbucks, or maybe you're at the DMV, and I feel sad for you on a Monday right before Thanksgiving. Listen to this podcast, going to the DMV. But I just want you to be like, Colin Gillespie. I want you to do it. Matthew, who you giving your jam star of the game to?
Jordan Goodwin again. I think this is the third time I give it to him. Coming in, starting, played a big role, and the offense wasn't they couldn't make shots, but it wasn't really his fault. So,
well, you got a lot. Dylan Brooks from David Ray, Villain Incorporated from Blaze Megatron, Goodwin from AM Kroll, Dogwin from Joseph Griffin. God, I can't speak. It's getting late. Jordan Goodwin from Juan Carlos Arenado, Brooks. Hard to decide. Goodwin, Goody. I'm giving a Goodwin tonight. Yeah, I'm giving it to Goodwin as well. I think that it just impresses me because, again, I felt like we were having a hard time grabbing boards because Luke Cornett is just a big son of a bitch, right? And like Julian Champagny, what the fuck that guy's name is? He had 10 points and he had 12 rebounds. So he was another one who was just crashing the glass. They were kind of consistently crashing the glass. And ultimately, Mark Williams had 11 rebounds, but Jordan Goodwin getting 10 rebounds, man, that really impresses me. And I enjoyed watching that. So no rest for the weary. Tomorrow night, the Phoenix Suns, the Houston Rockets are in town. Durant not playing, correct?
Yeah, family issues.
Yeah.
I guess. I'm sorry. Hopefully no one passed away. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Handle what you got to do. I'll tell you this.
Come on.
Come
on. Okay.
What? No. The way I look at it.
Okay.
Yeah, because I want to win this game.
No, I'm just.
And if he's not there,
he's not. I know. But if I was him, I wouldn't want to be here either. Playing against Dylan Brooks and Suns go up 10-0 to start the
he's
game
also
like that.
reportedly missing Golden State, so you could always look at it through that lens.
He planned it very well. Just kidding.
He's ducking his two former fan bases.
Sorry. I'm really sorry.
I'm just going to say that it doesn't help the narrative, like the Suns aren't beating everybody at their full strength, whatever. I like that it's just going to be a little more peaceful on Twitter the next couple days because the discourse is already shitty between KD stans and Suns fans because the Suns, obviously, our fan base on social media is having a good time. We're winning games like this. We're gritty. We're 11-6 now. I mean, where are we in the standings? Probably hasn't changed
we
much.
Should be, if we win this one against Houston, we should be number 5. Right now we're 6.
Okay, but I mean, even that, and so we're having a good time. And every time we post something that's good, a KD stand's got to come in and just like, if we're like, dude, the vibes are amazing. Like, well, what are you saying about last year's vibes? It's like, shut up, dude. It's not always about you. Like, get a life. Don't have another man's picture as your profile picture, you fucking weirdo. So yeah, this should be an interesting game. I don't know if Mark Williams plays. Mark Williams tonight played 28 minutes. We'll see. We'll see. He should. Although it'll be interesting because I think that Oso Ighodaro could be a good matchup against Alfred Şengün because Alfred Şengün isn't your standard big. He's a passing big. He's somebody who wants to be a little bit more out on the perimeter with the ball. And I think that Oso has a little bit more athleticism to guard him in that capacity. So I think it's going to be really fun to watch that.
Yeah, he'll be getting haircuts the whole game from Şengün. I think this team they're like the number 1 ISO scoring team too.
Dude, they're the best offense in the league.
They're the best offense in the league. Without Durant, even it doesn't matter. This is Şengün's team. Like he's going to be obviously an all-star this year. It's going to be tough, dude. I think Williams has to play. I think it's just the more bodies you can throw at him, the better. The pick and roll, whatever he's going to throw off the top of the key, you got to be prepared for it. It's going to be tough for the Suns, obviously defensively, but offensively, I think they can keep up with them. Hopefully, maybe Grayson Allen comes back this game. I'm not sure what his injury status is, but maybe I
hope so too. But I feel like he'll sit out this game, and we'll see him against Sacramento the day before Thanksgiving.
And I mean, if they lose this game against the Rockets, I don't think it'll be a blowout. I think it might be a 10-point loss. I'm fine with it. I think tonight was a must-win, and that's the most important thing. The Suns are winning when they're supposed to win. And if they're losing these type of games against the Spurs, then it's like, fuck, we got to beat the Rockets. Because right now you want to stay in that 6th seed, the 7th seed, at least right in that area and towards the end of the season.
A long way to go.
It's a long way to go. But right now, if you can beat a Rockets team without KD, then you obviously are going to be the headline of ESPN the next morning with Stephen A. Smith talking about the Suns because he hasn't watched any of them. So,
I know.
Any of the games.
Oh, he'll get everyone's name wrong. He'll call Jalen Green Josh Green. He's like, Josh Green hasn't played. Remember when he called Mikal Bridges, Miles Bridges forever,
Forever, yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this game goes. I plan on being there to see.
Yeah, it'd be a good one.
To see it in person. Reed Shepherd has been a revelation in his second year coming off the bench for them, and I think that it'll be interesting to see if they play him. But it's quality competition, and it should be a good game. KD or not, it's going to be a good game. So make sure you tune in after the game. Suns Jam Session podcast. You'll probably catch me driving home talking shit about traffic. If there's any rain, I'll definitely be complaining because no one knows how to drive in it. But yeah, that's all I really have. The one thing I do want to say is Jam Son's 19 in the chat. Beal stand here. You all suck. There's the Beal stand. You notice how there's no Beal stands? Like all the crap that's happened with Beal, no one comes to his defense. Like anything that happens with Kevin Durant, people come to his defense. Like Booker, people come to his defense. Beal, no one comes to his defense. If it is, it's like, oh, it's his uncle. You know, like you definitely know.
Yeah, because I feel like Beal kind of fell off, right? He never continued his career in the kind of dynamic, obviously, that Kevin Durant has. So I think his fans are just kind of in the shadows. They're like, oh, we'll see how this goes in Phoenix. Obviously didn't go very well. But I wanted to say, too, I apologize. The Kevin Durant stuff, if it's personal, it's fine. I was just joking around saying, like, of course he misses the Suns, because I think even if nothing's going on, that's a tough time to come back and play against the Suns right now. It is tough. And I don't know how he would be received. And I wanted to ask you, would you boo? I'm not a booer.
No, hell no.
But do you expect a lot of boos if he were to play?
I don't know. Beal, I completely expected, because I think there was a malice for Beal because of what he represented. Not him personally, but what he represented, because he ultimately represented the failed experiment of that era. And he was somebody who made snarky comments, right? Like, well, you know, I still got my no trade clause. I'm happy with that. You know, where it's like, with Kevin Durant, I feel like there's a reverence for who he was. Like, yeah, there was aspects of his game that probably didn't mesh as well as we would have liked them, but he was always just unbelievable at scoring the basketball and had some really great moments as a member. What great moments did Bradley Beal have? He had a good post-game interview one time, like with 2 games left to go.
He was the best player for like 4 straight games.
Yeah, at the end of the season 2 years ago.
Yep.
You know, whereas Kevin Durant always was transparent as he's going to be. He was amazing as a player. He hit game winners over Luka. And so I think that, you know, I think it would be a mix. I think it'd be a mix because you still have people out there who probably are a little too engaged on social media. But I feel like the most part, like if you're sitting in the Mortgage Matchup Center, there's 17,000 people there. There's probably like 10% of those people are actually on Twitter. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
everybody's on social media in some capacity, but not a lot of people are super engaged.
Maybe interacting, about,
you know what I mean?
10%. Yep.
Yeah. And so that they might be the people, but I feel like everyone else is just like, yeah, you know, like,
yeah, it's fun. Again, I think a lot of us are over it.
It's unfortunate we don't get to see what that looks like tomorrow, but you know, again, family issues. Go home and take care of your family.
Yeah, seriously,
go home and take care of your family, and we'll see him again, guaranteed.
I don't think we will, but yeah, go home and love your family, everybody. Love you.
Hey, you're listening to the Suns Jam Session podcast, shooting the shit about the Suns since 2019.